Hello everyone, this is Laurie Smith here on Spreaker, and glad to be here. This is Abuse is Wrong, and it's a sick world. And I haven't been around for a while since they changed it to 15-minute shows. And unfortunately, I don't have the funds really to do a half-hour show here. So I'm just going to do a quick 15-minute show. And I love the Spreaker platform. It's awesome. And so I haven't been around for a while, but I've been doing things on Blog Talk Radio. You can type in my name if you ever want to check out my stuff on Blog Talk Radio or my website, Born in Hell. Just type in Born in Hell Laurie Smith and it'll come up, or you can type in Blog Talk Radio Laurie Smith, it'll come up. And I do most of my stuff on there. So excuse me, so abuse is wrong and it's a sick world. You know, I've been wanting to do a show about that for a while, and I thought I'd do it here tonight so I could have some music with it. I love the Spreaker broadcasting situation. That was a song by Blind Divine, Got to Be Free. And you know, this is it just bothers me. Everybody knows abuse is wrong, except for people that go around abusing people. They think it's perfectly okay. But I usually focus on child abuse, you know, and that's because it's so important, because children are vulnerable. They really have no protection. You know, they're counting on people to protect them, and they're our most vulnerable citizens. And then, of course, you know, there's people, you know, there's other people in our society and societies that are also very vulnerable as well, that just can't get help, you know. And so abuse is wrong, and it's just a really sick world. It really is. I was thinking about what really kind of made me want to do this show and wanted to speak about this. We only have about 11 minutes, so I'm going to have to make it quick, is the issue of dignity. Dignity. You know, I look around at what's going on around the world, and I see it's a mess. It's been a mess forever. I mean, it's for a long, long time. We know that. But what I see right now is that people just have no dignity for people, for people's lives anymore. And people are just so willing to kill people over a belief, you know, or over a tradition, or over a thought. It's kind of like, well, this is the way I think, so, you know. And people are just out killing each other, just cold-blooded murder over things like that. You know, and children are being murdered just for the very reason that, you know, no reason at all, really. I mean, people will come up with any number of reasons why they kill their children or somebody else's child on purpose, you know, to cause enough bodily injury that, or just outright murder of a child. It's happening all the time, and they justify it. The same with people murdering adults. You know, abuse is wrong in any case, and, you know, hurting people, beating people up, you know, it's horrific. I'm interested in human rights. I've always been interested in human rights, probably because I grew up abused. And I watched my mom be abused by my dad and tried to stand up for her. My other siblings, some of them tried to stand up for my mother as well, and tried to protect her from my dad. And, you know, none of us wanted to see my mom be abused. And the sad thing is that my mother then turned around and did nothing to help protect us from either my dad or her. So, you know, abuse was just rampant in our home. So I grew up caring about, you know, this human rights issues, because people deserve to be treated with dignity, man. They really do. You know, I mean, I may have different views from somebody, and I'm sure that I do. I have all kinds of different views from other people, and because we're all different, everybody else has lots of different views than I do. But for people to go out and literally want to kill someone because of their ideology, or think that it's okay that they kill someone because of their belief system, or because that's just the way that their own traditions or their own social sort of situation says that something's wrong with that, we need to kill them. People need to stop hurting each other is what they need to stop doing. It's a really sick world. Like, if you see what's going on out there, if you read the headlines and actually see what's going on, you can see it's so horrific, it's not even funny. And if people would stop hurting each other, this wouldn't be going on. You know, like, if people would stop abusing children, we wouldn't have child abuse. We wouldn't have the issue of child abuse. And if people would stop abusing other people, we wouldn't have these issues going on, right? If people would stop killing each other, we wouldn't have that issue going on, you know? But no, someone's always got to think that they are justified in doing what they do, right? And, I grew up with that firsthand. My parents were both brought up on abuse charges, and they felt perfectly, excuse me, justified to be able to do what they did. And my mom, she used to tell me that it was her right. She could kill me at any time when she was beating on me, literally bashing my head in and practically killing me. And she would tell me it was her right to kill me, because she had me, she bore me, and she could take my life, right? And I mean, I was a little kid, so I wasn't paying much attention to what she was saying. I was just trying to cover my head so she wouldn't cave my head in. And I was just concerned basically that she was going to kill me, but I wasn't really listening to what she was saying because I was too young. And as I got older, I used to think, oh my God, how could you do that to your child? I mean, how could you do that to anybody? I mean, in self-defense, you have a right to protect yourself. But as far as adults go out in the world, why are people attacking each other? Where is the human dignity? Where's dignity, period? People's tolerance levels are getting to the point where human dignity is being completely overlooked. It's like nobody cares about anybody anymore. It's kind of club this person to get what you need, club that person, damage them, hurt their reputations, hurt their lives, whatever you have to do to get ahead. And it's just a really sick, disgusting world out there. It's getting worse and worse by the day. And I pay close attention to it because of human rights issues, and I'm looking at all the different aspects. I mean, I'm looking at all the way around the world, right? Not just regular secular stuff, but also in the I guess you want to call it the religious world, right? And I'm also looking at child abuse issues. And I mean, it's just a very sick and perverted world out here. Why are people getting away with this stuff? I mean, some people are getting caught and getting arrested and doing time and whatnot, but it's the sentencing's not fair. The victims are damaged for life, and the person that's convicted and found guilty, 100% guilty, is getting a very minimal sentence dealt to them. And it's just ridiculous. People are killing people and just walking away. Right now, you just look at what's going on over in Syria. There's at least around 450,000 people dead over there. And the world just keeps on going and eating their Cheerios and what's on TV tonight, because the world we don't know what to do to help those people. How do you help those people? The rest of them, as they've run across other countries to try to get out of that area. Why is the world allowed to, why are certain players in the world allowed to get away with this stuff? And why is the world not screaming out about it? Like, the world should be screaming out about that. The 450,000 dead people in Syria, which a lot of them are children. And I don't care whose rebel side they're on or whose rebel side they're not on. This is absolutely unacceptable. If everybody's going to have to lay down their guns, you know what I mean? Everybody's going to have to lay down their fists, right? Everybody's going to have to lay down their implements, their belts, right? I mean, if we're going to stop this mess in the world, it takes everyone. And the problem is there's always going to be some really sick and twisted, perverted person who just thinks it's okay to do these things. And why shouldn't they be allowed to push their weight around and kill somebody, or kill 200,000 people, or kill a child, or whatever? This is incredibly wrong. And I keep speaking about this because if to see evil and to not call it evil is evil. If you don't speak out against what is wrong, you're basically saying, oh, it's okay, right? Just by default, right? We all need to speak up about this. We really all need to have a voice in this. This is absolutely unacceptable. My time is kind of short. I'm not a young person anymore. I spent a lot of my time that I could have been doing things to make a difference, trying to heal from the abuse that I suffered as a child, right? And so I really didn't get to do what I wanted to do, right? And as time is of the essence, right? If you're a young person out there and you're listening to this, and you make sure that you get involved. You see evil, you call it evil, and you do something about it. It's your world. See, there's a whole bunch of us that are getting ready to leave this place eventually here because we're all getting old. And it's the young people's world next, right? And if you don't stand up and do something about it, then you will pay the consequences and your children will too, right? I don't have any children because I was raped as a child and made barren by the sexual abuse. But, if I had children, I would teach them to speak up and speak out. See, I was always speaking up and speaking out. That's why I was beaten as a child, because I didn't want my dad raping my mother. So I would try to get him away from her and try to keep him away from my mother so that he wouldn't rape her and then he would beat me. And then I didn't like what I saw my mother doing to other people in my family, so I would say something and then she'd beat me. So I was just being beaten by both my parents because I would open my mouth and it would always get me in trouble. But I always speak the truth. And truth is absolutely necessary. And I've lost friends over speaking the truth. I've lost so many friends over speaking the truth. And it's like I've lost relationships. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But you know what? I don't care, because at the end of the day, I can sleep at night. My conscience is clear. There's right and there's wrong. There's good and evil. And I'm telling you, abuse is wrong. And every single person on this planet deserves to be treated with human dignity. And if everybody would remember that and stop hurting each other, this would be a much better place to live in. And and not only that, but it's a very, very sick world. And if we don't speak out against this stuff, then we may as well, we're just as guilty, because we're not speaking out against this. So do what you can, especially if you're a young person. Get involved, use your voice, use your power to do something to change this mess and try to make a difference in this world, right? So the next song up, we've got about a minute left. I'm going to play Take a Second by Point Claire. And I just wish you guys a really good night. And take it easy. God bless you all. And if you're struggling and having a hard time, like I always say on all my shows for all my survivor friends who listen to my work, I'm telling you, you keep going, you keep reaching out, and you keep looking for that help where you can find it. And you do not ever give up. And everybody, make a difference. Use your voice. Stand up for truth, right?
Gonna fly me so high, I can go at top speed. At least I can try. At least I can try. It's all been too much.